but rather from a lot of posts on social media where there is a substantial fan base for Manchester United who say they'd rather like the idea of you trying to buy Manchester United because they think you would run it differently. Firstly, do you think you might? Is there a chance of that? And secondly, would you run it?
Might I run it differently, or might I run it?
Might you run it differently? I'm sure you'd run it.
I think the answer about performance on Manchester United is a simple one, really, that the biggest correlation in success in football is money, without question. It's not the only correlation, because you've got outliers like Brighton. Okay, but the biggest correlation by far is if you've got the highest revenues, you can afford the best players, you play the best football. Yeah? And Manchester United is one of those, it was one of those top three clubs. You had the two in Spain, Madrid and Barca, and you had Manchester United, and the all-in revenue was about 800 million. There's a few more have joined that club now, of course, because you've got Bayern Munich, you've got PSG, you've got, I can hardly say it, Manchester City. Yeah. And Liverpool are a little bit closer, but Manchester United are not playing in that league. They're not playing in the league of those other teams at the moment, and they haven't done for quite some years now, really, since Sir Alex stepped down. So something is not, they're not firing on all cylinders. So I think that would be my point on performance, really, and
would you like to come back for another? Do you think there's a possibility you might acquire it at some point?
Well, I think I'm a lifelong Manchester United fan, and I was there in '99, that most remarkable match in '99 when in Barcelona. So that's sort of deeply etched in my mind. But Manchester United is owned by the Glazer family, whom I have met. I've met Joel and Avram, and they are the nicest people, I have to say. They're proper gentlemen, they're really nice people, and they don't want to sell it. And it's owned by the 6 children of the father, and they don't want to sell it. So if it had been for sale, in the summer, yes, we would probably have had a go following on from the Chelsea thing. But we can't sit around hoping that one day Manchester United will become available. So I think what will happen now is we have a sports franchise, which is a really interesting franchise. I mean, we own a third of the Mercedes Formula One team, which is, it's been the most successful in the last few years. Robbed last year, obviously. But, we've got a great cycling team. Eliud Kipchoge we're quite close to. And probably the most challenging of all is Ben Ainsley with his America's Cup Challenge, which is going quite well at the moment, and that's obviously a couple of years away. But the one thing that we don't have is the most popular sport in the world is football. It's the sport which John, Andy and myself were brought up with, and it's sort of closest to us. So we should have an asset in the sporting franchise.
A Premiership club?
Well, not a Premiership. I think a Premier club.
Okay.
A Premier club. And I think Nice has got a very interesting history. It's an old club. It's in a very nice place, a very attractive place for footballers because it's a Californian climate down there. If I look at what Manchester City did with Manchester City, what Mubarak did with Manchester, or Mubadala did with Manchester City, what the Qataris did with PSG was just a Lyon or a Marseille, 10 years ago. Then we'll probably have a look at what we might be able to do with Nice. But there you go. That's extremely.
Further questions? Must have some more.